Hi, this is Mike Starr with the Journey into Peace, Creating Your Heaven on Earth program. Today's subject that we'll focus on will be savoring our success, our successes. And as an overview of the program, I just want to review that there are 4 key aspects to the program. One is to have an empowering mantra and repeat it frequently through the day. Have some type of activator that reminds you. As I've mentioned before, I have my very elaborate rubber band bracelet that reminds me to review and think about my empowering mantra. Next, I asked that you meditate for at least once a day for 4 minutes on the subject of compassion. And please don't forget to include not only compassion for others, but compassion for yourselves, for ourselves. Focusing on at least my reality, I believe my reality, that people can't help being who they are, given their background and their circumstances, their upbringing and experiences. To a large degree, the decisions they make and the way they act have been somewhat programmed into them from very, very early stages. And for us to have compassion and love and caring for them, for ourselves as well, while still at times seeing the need to set boundaries with consequences to ensure our own safety and peace. The next part of the program is to spend at least 4 minutes a day on working on one of your positive improvement areas, something that you've identified that would bring value to your life to progress, whether it be physical fitness or financial fitness or a particular special relationship, whatever your positive improvement area is. And lastly is to spend 4 minutes a day, at least 4 minutes a day, taking a bite out of your one elephant in the room. And the elephants are those areas that sort of linger in the background, that are a bit of a burden that we tend not to address or even admit, that we're somewhat in denial of. So please continue. I have to say that the personal coaching group is doing an absolutely remarkable effort here, and the successes are really very humbling. As a matter of confidentiality, I will not and cannot elaborate on any of the details other than truly remarkable. And for those of you in the personal coaching program, my hat's off to you. I really appreciate your willingness to perhaps accept and embrace a greater truth, and your willingness to be open to the coaching and be committed to bringing more peace, more happiness in your life, and reducing suffering and upsetment as well. So great job, really fantastic. I wish I could acknowledge you personally, but it is very impressive and very, very humbling for me, I must say. Today's term is one I've coined called R.I.B, R-I-B. The R stands for routines, I is integrity, and B is beliefs. And as I alluded to in the previous YouTube video, is that when we have our beliefs on one hand, things that we truly feel strongly are right and wrong, and we have our actions on the other side of our life, when we can move closer and closer in harmony and have that our beliefs are in harmony with our convictions, and actions, and we have great alignment. So when our beliefs, our convictions align with our actions and what we do, what we say, how we carry ourselves, it is a very, very healthy place to be. And I encourage all of you to have clarity about what is it that you believe in, what are those strong rights and wrongs for you, and be objective in observing what you're doing, and is your life in harmony with that, and work towards moving those two together so that they become one, so that you are in alignment and allowing you to have much more of an effortless day and effortless life. So please continue with pursuing that. I appreciate that. R.I.B, R-I-B, routines, beliefs, and the integrity of having them become one. Now, before I go on to discuss a little bit about savoring successes, particularly savoring successes in this program, I'd say to savor successes, it's important that we do care about ourselves and love ourselves. and to be able to love yourself, to respect yourself, you do need integrity. We do need to be our words, do what we say we're going to do, be in alignment between beliefs and routines, and pulling them together, and have compassion for others and for ourselves, not to demonize, not to be self-righteous. I would say as a bit of a barometer for you, or a thermometer for you, if you find yourself getting self-righteous or somewhat resentful or angry at others, it may be an indication of some opportunities for compassion. And I've said in previous videos, I ask you to add to the program, practice being compassionate with others. If you get irate occasionally, that is a very, very good indicator. It's like a warning light on your dashboard of your car. Warning, warning, you're being irate. There's work to do here. And it's not about the other person, it's about us. It's about us looking to have compassion, to have a loving and caring understanding, and project that caring and project that acknowledgement to others that, hey, I get you. I hear what you're saying. I understand your feelings. Not necessarily agreeing, but to authenticate them, validate them. And as I've mentioned many times, sometimes we do have to set boundaries with consequences, that we speak ahead of time proactively, that and a good way I found to do this is to context in this, not in them, but their behavior. So when your behavior is such, it makes me feel this way, and as a result of that, I have a need to do this to protect myself. Not necessarily saying I don't love you, don't care about you, but that behavior produces this feeling that causes this need to be taken care of for my own safety, for my own happiness, for my own peace of mind. So it's a good way to, I think, context making boundaries, and to please do them in a proactive manner before the situation occurs. There's no time in the heat of battle, of argument, or upsetment to try to set boundaries with consequences. That only fuels the fire. So the subject for today is savoring successes. And a book that I think will relate to this a bit is one I recommend. It's called Buddha's Brain. Not an easy read, so it's for the serious students of peace and happiness. On the cover it says, A Practical Neuroscience of Happiness, Love, and Wisdom. The Buddha's Brain is an effort to combine three different, thinking, studying methodologies, neuroscience, psychology, and contemplative practices. Neuroscience being the physics of the brain, the study of the brain, the chemistry, the hormones, the synapses, the nerves, the neural pathways. It's all the physics related to the brain and its chemistry and makeup. Psychology obviously is about human behavior and actions and reactions and how we view things. Contemplative practices, and to a large degree it's Zen type, Buddhist type contemplative practices, relates a lot to meditation and calm ways of thinking, which is somewhat of a lead into compassion. So Buddha's Brain, serious students of happiness and harmony and peace. Good read, hard read though. It's can be a bit technical, but it's very good. So I'd like to read quickly a little passage out here that I think is very appropriate for us. And it's in the intro, actually on page number 3, and it says, Last, if I know one thing for sure, it's that you can do small things inside your mind that will lead to big changes in your brain and your experience of living. I've seen this happen again and again with people I've known as a psychologist or as a meditation teacher. And I've seen it in my own thoughts and feelings as well. You really can nudge your whole being in a better direction every day. When you change your brain, you change your life. Today, the discussion on savoring is, I'm asking you to consider practicing yet another aspect of the Journey into Peace program, is to savor. to take a moment, stand back, be calm, appreciate, be grateful for, enjoy your successes. In this book here, The Buddha's Brain, it talks about creating neural pathways in our brain, that ways of thinking, consistent ways of thinking, can change the way our brain actually is chemically and physically made up. Subtle changes. So if you can create a cause and effect between your actions and the results in a positive way, it will encourage and motivate you to move forward. It kind of boils down to the old saying that success breeds success. Very, very strong motivator for people is to have a sense of accomplishment and success, and it is a big motivator. It really will inspire you to move on. So I ask you to savor, to relish, to take time to appreciate the successes you have. If you complete a meditation and you make the 4 minutes, bravo. If you work on your positive improvement area and you were going to do 4 and you did 5 minutes, fantastic, excelento, way to go, marvelous. And if you were to take a bite out of your elephant, and you did, and you put the efforts into it, stand back and say, man, I did that. I made a small, simple, tiny effort of progress towards dealing with that particular issue. And allow yourself to have a sense of moving forward and accomplishment. And, hey man, I'm handling this thing. I'm getting this thing done. Not overnight, but in simple, tiny efforts of progress. So I ask you to please consider savoring, relishing your successes in this program. From a physics point of view, you're creating neural pathways in your brain. You're creating a way of being and thinking that will be very, very healthy for you going forward. The term of self-efficacy is about having the confidence that we can deal with issues, problems, challenges. And we may have self-efficacy in one area, not another. It's not a overarching comment about all of us, but to have self-efficacy, the belief that you are on a continuous path of a journey into peace, creating your heaven on earth, is a remarkable place to be. And to get there and to be there, it does take practice. So practice, 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 practice being compassionate, practice savoring your successes. My goal for you is to be fishermen and fisherwomen of peace and harmony, with more or less, bringing in more happiness and having less suffering in your life. And I'm not particularly interested in you catching some big giant whale or marlin. Minnows, little bluegills. Catch 1 or 2 a day. If you continue that every day, every week, every month, you can wake up in the morning and know that this week will be better than last. And I have a great, grand future ahead of me. The journey into peace, creating our heaven on earth, as I've said, heaven on earth is not a place. It's a process. It's a progress. It's a way of being. It's a way of seeing. It's a way of noticing. It's a way of thinking. So practice. Savor your successes in this program, on your meditations, on your positive improvement areas, on your elephants in the room, on saying your empowering mantra as you look at your activator. You're making great progress. You're doing wonderful things. But define wonderful as simple, tiny efforts of progress, not huge events that the newspapers would headline. We'll all probably have a chance to have that Andy Warhol moment of 15 minutes of fame, but that's not what this program is about. This program is about daily living. This is about hourly living. With our relationships with others, increasing our happiness, our harmony, our health, our compassion, and a sense of contribution in making a difference. So I ask you, practice savoring. Take a moment. Say to yourself, good job. Well done. I feel good about this. I did take a step forward. And when you have a setback or a mistake or something goes not quite right, say, oh, that'll be an opportunity. I'll learn something from that. But don't let it deter you. Be like that school of fish. Turn on a dime and move away from it. Come back later and learn what you can. But have that self-efficacy and that confidence that I'm succeeding. So with that, I wish you well. Continue on with your journey into peace, creating your heaven on earth, which is not a place, but a process of being and seeing and noticing. Thank you. Satnam.